My name's Ashish Verma. I'm the Global Head of Creative and Bloomberg Media Studios, and this is my hot take. Part of what we do at Bloomberg has been very much about helping brands reach our audiences, which are emerging and existing modern leaders. And part of that approach has to be somewhat experimental. And I think that in a lot of ways, we look for new media opportunities, new channels, new platforms, and really think about what is the intersection between what brands want to do and what audiences are looking for. The volume of content that we're producing in the world is increasing, and there's no evidence of it slowing down. And we've reached a point where the amount of content that's being produced or developed has far exceeded what is humanly possible to consume. On the other side, we've seen a decline in advertising effectiveness. And so marketers are really leaning in on investing in content marketing, spending more for brand content development. And we're seeing that year over year, research is reporting that brand content is going to increase by about 40%, which ultimately is going to equate to about $14 billion in the brand content industry. But marketers are facing two critical issues right now. One is there is so much content that's being produced, it's very hard for them to break through and connect with their audiences. The second point is, how do they measure the effectiveness of brand marketing when it comes to content? And that is something that they haven't been able to figure out. And what ends up happening is that they start creating content that starts looking very much like advertising. But that doesn't work. And it ends up in what we're calling this great digital landfill. Audiences are smart. Audiences are discerning. They can sniff out when content is being created to sell to them. Audiences want the ability to control what they consume, to choose how they spend their time. I think brands have a real opportunity now to really step in and define or redefine the next wave of content programming. And that content needs to be entertaining. That content needs to be educational. That content needs to be insightful. It needs to be inspiring. There's a real gap out there for brands to step in and own that conversation, to own that content gap. And the truth is, audiences don't care if something is brought to you by a brand, as long as the brand is truthful and as long as the brand is transparent about it. If you're adding value to my life, or you're helping me see the world in a way that's different and surprising, and that's going to help me in my career or in my life, that's a relationship that you can't buy. That's a relationship you can only earn. I watched Netflix's F1 Drive to Survive. I wasn't a Formula One fan. After watching it, that show approached it from a standpoint that was Hollywood drama meets emotion, meets behind the scenes insight. And I had a connection with that brand that I never thought I would. And I wasn't just alone. There were thousands of fans around the globe that actually had this connection with F1 that they never had before. And we're seeing ESPN having a 50% increase in viewership for the Grand Prix telecast. We're seeing the US Grand Prix in Austin having to increase by 20,000 seats. I mean, those are tangible results as part of watching the show and increasing this fan base. Bloomberg has been working with Hyundai for the last 5 years now on a campaign that really is essentially a show that we've developed for them called Art and Technology. So we've spent about the last 6 seasons going out there. We're talking to museums, we're talking to curators to be able to find artists that are using technology in a meaningful way. Whether that is about making a political statement or having a social stance, everything from gender identity to race relations, and really showcasing those artists and the use of technology as a vehicle to kind of connecting with their audiences. And really what it is not about really marketing the Hyundai suite of vehicles. It's much more about tapping into the passion points of what Hyundai stands for and what Hyundai's audience is interested in. So what we believe in is if you create a brand that resonates with your audience in a way that reflects their values, that reflects their interests, that reflects their challenges that they're facing in their world or in their businesses, you will create a relationship that actually creates trust and credibility and authority. And for us, what works is not selling, but what works is really kind of creating a more substantive platform for what a brand stands for. And that's my hot take.